Well, we didn't do exactly what we had talked about for the last few days. Coach Rasher had mentioned to the kids quite a bit that we want to stay away from that big inning, make the routine plays. And there were a couple plays in the game in that one inning where they scored all the runs. Two plays where we should have got outs. Would have got out of the inning a lot quicker with maybe 1 or 2 runs. And then baseball's a weird sport. You guys know it can snowball real quick. Then it becomes a little harder to get an out. A couple flares. They hit the ball down the left field line, down the right field line. And all of a sudden you go from a very tight game to a game where it's basically out of reach. And then in the inning where we had our 4 runs, if we could have got just one key hit, one key hit in that inning, we could have gone from a 1-run lead to maybe a 2 to maybe 4-run lead. Totally different mindset. So the game didn't look good, but it could have been a different, with just 1 or 2 plays here, it could have been a totally different outcome, result, whatever you want to call it, for us. But unfortunately, that's the way it goes. I know our kids are supremely disappointed. I was handing out some shirts they had got, and they came into my room, and I can just look on their faces. They're embarrassed, number one. Number two, they know they're better than what we showed today. And hopefully they'll have resolve to go out tomorrow and play a really good game and hope we can stay in this, because anything can happen, and we just got to go one at a time and get a few key hits tomorrow, and hopefully that's what our kids can do.
Now, Jamison, you guys took Jamison out.
Right.
Now, after 5.
Right.
But they'd hit him a little bit.
Yeah, he had. It was obviously very humid. It was either at 100 or over 100, and Dan figured, okay, he could sense in the 5th inning. Even though Ian made those 2 sensational plays, I'll get back that in a minute. But you could sense the ball was just losing. It was going a little flatter. I know Jamison probably didn't want to come out because he's a good competitor, but it was probably the best decision at that time based on the number of pitches in a short amount of innings, because he did strike several people. They struck the first 6 out. So when you strike a lot of people out, you use a lot of pitches, and then they had a few walks and they had a few hits. So Dan thought it was best that he take him out at that time, and I think that was the right move. I think he was just a little gassed at the time.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but when I thought about it for a second, I thought, well, it makes perfect sense. He had thrown a lot of pitches.
Right.
You had the lead.
Right.
And you have a deep pitching staff.
Right.
And particularly the way we've seen Jack Sauter pitch, who would have thought?
Right, right. And Jack's done a good job for us in those types of situations. He did against Hagerstown when we played. Hagerstown's every bit as good as his team that we played today. And Jack's done a good job today. He was just, once again, a little bit off. Coaches were talking on the way back. We're not making any excuses, but Niagara just finished their region, and we have that long layoff. And sometimes when a team is a little bit still, because they finished on Sunday, they basically get their reservations, head on down here. We got that extra week, and I think sometimes pitchers may get a little rusty throwing against guys that are jacked up. It's different when we had inter squads, but it's totally different when you're facing guys that are really, you're in the World Series. They understand where they are. They understand the expense, the sacrifice the school is giving us a very nice trip here. The kids understand that, so, and for all these teams. And so when you get there, the intensity level is a lot higher. The batter's a little more sharper. So if the pitcher's a little bit off, then just like their guy, he was rolling pretty good, and all of a sudden he got hit in the leg on that one foul ball, but I think he just lost his composure. And but our guys were probably a little less sharp pitchers today than theirs were, and that's where some of the balls that maybe we might have got fly balls or had dropped in and things of that sort. So I think that's part of it.
Let's go back to a couple of the highlights for MC, because there were.
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier the two great plays by Ian Velez,
Right.
and then also Greg Turlick made a great diving catch. in the outfield.
Yeah, it was good because I've been working with the outfielders, so you always feel good when they do well. But I think their coach was going to pull his hair out after getting back-to-back guys. I think on successive pitches, or maybe 2 or 3 pitches total, that Ian made 2 perfect throws. Miles is one of the best that we've ever had here, catching those kind of balls, because that's a tough play. And he has a bad wrist from when he broke it in the fall. He's very good. He got good soft hands, so when the ball comes in, he usually gets his glove on it and makes that bang-bang play. Because both were pretty much bang-bang plays at the plate. They were out, but it was a combination of both. And we had the last 10 days prior to coming down here, we've been working on our throws from the outfield. A lot of drills we were doing with the guys, because we always tell them, one thing constant in baseball is throws. The fields can be different, bumpy, whatever it is. So yeah, you don't see that often, and that was nice. And Greg's catch, and a nice diving catch that he made, that saved us a couple runs in whatever, 3rd or 4th inning, whatever.
Third inning. 4th inning, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Greg had a good day, and a good nice triple off the fence, and made a good effort on another one down the line where he landed into that big puddle. So he was like completely covered in mud, because the outfield was very, very wet, extremely wet today because of the heavy rain we had last night. But so there were a lot of good things. Nick Kasarki made a great play at shortstop, where it went deep to his right, made a nice throw. Jake had a nice stretch on it. There was a nice double play we made. So there were a lot of good things too. It's just that the pitchers today just weren't sharp, and we could have used, in that one inning we had an opportunity to score 6 runs. We could have scored 6 very, very easy, if not 7. If we could have got a key play hit there, I think that would have been, the game would have changed back. It's just, unfortunately, that's just the way things go. So not much we can do about it as coaches.
So now, I guess one of the keys is, for tomorrow, is keeping these guys together and keeping their spirits up for the rest of the day.
Right. That's going to be a challenge. I think Dan addressed that right afterwards, right before we left to come back to the hotel. And they said, guys, we got to come out. We're going to face a number 1 or 2 team in the nation. We're number 3. So we know it's going to be a very difficult game again for both teams, because someone that's really good, had a very good year, is going home tomorrow. And it's close to, it'll be the first team. And we don't want to be that. We absolutely, no one does, but so we talked to him. We said, we're going to do the same routine as far as getting up, eating breakfast, that kind of stuff. We got to hit 7:30 again in the cages, and hopefully it will be. I think there will be. I'm pretty confident. Once again, talking to the kids a few minutes ago, just one-on-one, I can sense that they were resolved in trying to do as best they possibly can. I hope.
All right. John, thanks so much.